Welcome to Fostering Resilience. I'm KJ Foster. In today's video, I'm sharing information about something called gaslighting. Specifically, what is gaslighting, signs and examples of gaslighting, causes of gaslighting, and how to respond to gaslighting. So let's start with what is gaslighting. Gaslighting is a form of emotional and psychological abuse where a person or a group makes someone question their sanity, memories, or their perception of reality. Typically, a gaslighter will use lies and criticism to make you question your sanity and to rely on them. Anyone can gaslight you, including a partner, family member, friend, or work colleague. People experiencing gaslighting often feel confused, anxious, and unable to trust themselves. If you think someone is gaslighting you, responding to their behavior may help you gain back some control. Where did this term gaslighting come from? The term gaslighting derives from the 1938 play and 1944 film Gaslight, in which a husband manipulates his wife into thinking she has a mental illness by dimming their gas-fueled lights and telling her she's hallucinating. Gaslighting may cause people to distrust themselves and feel scared and vulnerable. Gaslighting often develops gradually, sometimes making it difficult for the person to even detect it's happening. Here are some examples of gaslighting. According to the National Domestic Violence Hotline, techniques a person may use to gaslight someone include the following. Trivializing. This occurs when a person belittles or disregards the other person's feelings. They may accuse them of being too sensitive or overreacting when they have valid concerns and feelings. Denial. Denial involves a person pretending to forget events or how they occurred. They may deny having said or done something or accuse someone of making things up. Diverting. With this technique, a person changes the focus of a discussion and questions the other person's credibility instead. For example, they may say some things like, "Well, that's just crazy, and you must have gotten that insane idea from one of your friends." Countering. This is when a person questions someone's memories. For example, they may say something like, "You never remember things accurately," or "Are you sure you're remembering that correctly? You know what a bad memory you have." Withholding. When someone withholds, they refuse to engage in a conversation. A person using this technique may pretend not to understand so that they don't have to respond. For example, they might say, "I don't know what you're talking about," or "You're just trying to confuse me." Stereotyping. In this case, a person using gaslighting techniques may intentionally use negative stereotypes of a person's gender, race, ethnicity, sexuality, nationality, or age to manipulate them. For example, they may tell a female that people will think she's irrational or crazy if she seeks help for abuse. While anyone can experience gaslighting, it's especially common in intimate relationships and in social interactions where there's an imbalance of power. A person who is on the receiving end of this behavior is experiencing abuse, and it can happen in any type of a relationship. Intimate partner relationships. An abusive partner may accuse someone of being irrational or crazy in order to isolate them, undermine their confidence, and make them easier to control. For example, they might continuously tell someone they're forgetful until the person starts to believe it's true. Child-parent relationships. Abusive caregivers may use gaslighting to shame or control their children. They may accuse them of being too sensitive or belittle their feelings. Racial gaslighting. Racial gaslighting occurs when people apply gaslighting techniques to a group of people based on their race or ethnicity. For example, a person may deny that a specific group experiences discrimination despite evidence that says otherwise, or they might criticize civil rights activists for being too emotional to undermine their message. Political gaslighting. Political gaslighting occurs when a political figure or group uses lies, denials, or manipulates information to control people. Examples include downplaying or hiding things their administration has done wrong, discrediting political opponents based on mental instability, or using controversy to divert attention from important events. Institutional gaslighting. Institutional gaslighting can occur at a company or organization. The organization may deny or hide information, lie to employees about their rights, or portray whistleblowers who uncover problems in an organization as incompetent or mentally ill. Here are some signs of gaslighting. People on the receiving end of gaslighting often find it difficult to realize that they're experiencing abuse. They may not question the abusive person's behavior because they're in a position of authority or because they feel reliant on them. The National Domestic Violence Hotline indicates that a person experiencing gaslighting may feel confused and constantly second-guess themselves, find it difficult to make simple decisions, frequently question if they're too sensitive, become withdrawn or unsociable, constantly apologize to the abusive person, defend the abusive person's behavior, lie to the family and friends to avoid having to make excuses for them, feel hopeless, joyless, worthless, or incompetent. Gaslighting can also cause anxiety, depression, and psychological trauma, especially if it's part of a wider abuse pattern. How to respond to gaslighting. Method number 1, confronting a gaslighter. First of all, take a moment to calm yourself down before you speak to the gaslighter. You probably feel really upset, and you have every right to feel that way. At the same time, showing your anger, frustration, or sadness will give the gaslighter more power. Before you speak, focus on your breath. Count to 10, or visualize your happy, peaceful place to help you calm yourself down. For instance, you might count to 10 and then picture yourself spending time with your best friend or cuddling with your dog. Explain your version of events in a calm voice if they're lying. Gaslighters may lie about things that happened or question your memory of what occurred. When this happens, calmly tell them what you remember and make it clear that you're not going to accept their version of what happened. Say that you understand their perception is different, but that doesn't mean you're wrong. You might say, "I remember our conversation clearly, and you told me you were coming straight home after work. I understand that you don't remember, but that doesn't mean it didn't happen." Similarly, you could say, "Last week, you told me the project was due at the end of the month, so I wrote that on my calendar. I will be happy to move the deadline up to accommodate the new schedule, but this is the first time I'm hearing about it." Ask them to explain a snide joke or comment. Gaslighters often try to undermine your confidence, so they might make mean comments that they brush off as jokes or just teasing. This isn't okay, and you deserve to be treated better. When they say these things, question them about why they think it's funny or appropriate to talk to you like that. Use a tone of voice that's calm and understanding so they don't get defensive. For example, you can say something along the lines of, "Why do you always joke that I'm lazy?" or whatever the issue may be. "What's funny about that?" Or, "Do you think your comments about my weight help our relationship? What are you hoping to achieve?" Respond to criticisms by pointing out something you do well. Another way a gaslighter may try to undermine your self-esteem is to constantly criticize you. This can destroy your confidence, so it's important to remind both yourself and the gaslighter of your skills and accomplishments. When they criticize you, point out something positive that you did to bolster your self-esteem. Tell the gaslighter that you expect to be treated with respect. You likely won't be able to change the gaslighter's behavior. However, telling them what you expect will show them that you're aware of what they're doing, which might make them pick a new target. Explain that you expect their behavior to improve if they want a relationship with you. So, for example, it's not okay for you to make jokes about me. If this is going to work, you need to treat me with kindness. You could also say, I really value my position at this company, and your comments are undermining my authority. We both need to respect each other for this business relationship to work. Refuse to argue about what happened or what was said. Explain your side of things and then change the topic. If they try to argue with you, excuse yourself from the conversation so each of you have space to calm down. You might say something like, I can see that you're still upset about what happened, but I don't think arguing about it is going to be productive. Let's both take a few minutes to just calm down and collect our thoughts. Warning: when you start confronting a gaslighter, they're likely going to escalate their behaviors to try to take control of the situation. If this happens, take a step back from the situation because withdrawing gives you more power. If you get upset or argumentative, the gaslighter knows they can still manipulate you. Method number 2, taking back control. Keep a journal so you have a reminder of what actually happened. Dealing with a gaslighter can make you doubt your own memories and sometimes question your own sanity. However, writing down what happens in the moment will help you avoid self-doubt. Record your daily experiences in a paper journal or online. This will give you a record of what really happened. Identify and avoid the gaslighter's triggers if you can. While it's never your fault when someone gaslights you, avoiding possible triggers for their behavior allows you to take control. When gaslighting happens, write down what's going on before and during the incident. Then, look for commonalities between the incidents so you can discover possible triggers for the behavior. Try to avoid these triggers to minimize incidences of gaslighting. For example, you might notice that your partner tends to engage in gaslighting when you try to talk to them when they're tired. You might have a better conversation if you wait until they're well rested. Similarly, you may notice that your boss tends to gaslight you when end of the quarter pressures are high. So you might try moving your project deadlines to earlier in the quarter. Accept that they have different perceptions of what happened. While it's true that gaslighters may tell you outright lies, sometimes they may have convinced themselves that they're right. So there's no point in trying to change their mind about what happened. It's totally normal for two people to have different memories about the same event. So just agree to disagree. You might say something like this: I know you don't remember the conversation the same way I do, so let's just agree to disagree, because neither of us is going to change our minds. Limit your contact with the gaslighter if possible. Gaslighters typically won't change their behavior unless they really want to change. The best way to protect yourself is to separate yourself from the abuser. Make changes in your life to help you break free from this person. For instance, consider breaking up with a partner who gaslights you on a regular basis. If your boss or coworker is a gaslighter, start searching for a new job. If a family member gaslights you, spend more time with loved ones who support you and reduce how often you see the gaslighter. Ask your partner to go to couples counseling if they're gaslighting you. Being in love with a person who's gaslighting can be very painful. However, you might want to do everything possible to save your relationship, and couples counseling may help. Explain to your partner that you love them but you want help improving your relationship. Then ask them if they're willing to go to counseling with you. Will you go to counseling with me so that we can build a stronger relationship and gain better communication skills? Method 3. Support your mental health. Set boundaries to protect yourself from gaslighting. The best way to respond to gaslighting is to withdraw yourself from the situation. This shows the gaslighter that they can't control you. Set boundaries by telling the gaslighter what behaviors you won't tolerate and how you will respond, and then follow through on those threats. For example, saying something like, "If you criticize me, I'm going to walk away," or "If you're going to question me, I'm going to block your phone calls," or "It's not okay for you to talk to me that way. If you're going to continue to disrespect me, I'm going to have to block your calls." Spend time with your support network. A gaslighter can tear apart your self-esteem, so surround yourself with people who build you up. Communicate daily with people who make you feel good, either by phone, text, or in person. Additionally, invite your friends or family members to do fun things with you. For instance, host a game night, go out to dinner, go bowling. Try to do at least one fun event each week. Being around people who support you will help you see your value as a person. Engage in hobbies and interests that make you feel good about yourself. A gaslighter will try to undermine your self-confidence so that they're in control, but feeling good about yourself helps you take the power back. Pick a hobby that makes you feel fulfilled, or identify interests that make you happy. Then schedule time for your hobbies and interests every week. For example, take an art class, learn to crochet, or join a sports team. Work with a therapist if you're struggling on your own. Dealing with a gaslighter can be really difficult, and you might need additional support. Talk to a therapist to get help working through your feelings and boosting your confidence and countering the effects of the gaslighter. The therapist will help you learn to change your behaviors and thoughts. Ask your doctor or a friend to refer you to a therapist. Your therapy appointments may be covered by insurance, so be sure to check your benefits. If you or a loved one is experiencing abuse, you may reach out to the National Domestic Violence Hotline at www.thehotline.org. It's available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Thanks for watching today. Be sure to check out the Fostering Resilience channel for more educational videos, meditations, and support groups. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Namaste.